Ludicrous Feed is proudly sponsored by My Car, Tyre and Auto, Carloop, data to empower Australia's EV revolution, and Hankook, driving emotion. Hello everyone, I'm Tom, this is Joy.
Hello.
And today we are reviewing the MGS5 here in Sydney, Australia. Let's go check it out. Alright, so the MGS5 comes in 4 variants. It's actually 2 different battery sizes and then 2 different trims for each battery. So starting at $40,490 drive away, including on-road. So that's a really good price for the base 49 Excite variant, all the way up to the Essence 62, $47,990. So they're all...
That's still a really excellent price.
That's a really good price actually. And we'll obviously compare this to the Geely EX5. That's probably its main competitor. We'll talk about that shortly. And also the BYD Atto 3 as well, I guess. The MG is rear-wheel drive for all variants, same output for all of them, 125 kilowatts and 250 Newton meters of torque. And because of that, it's a little bit slower off the mark, 0 to 100, anywhere from 8 to 8.6 seconds, depending on the variant. The 2 battery sizes are, of course, 49 kilowatt hour and 62 kilowatt hour, hence the nomenclature. All LFP batteries, and the range is anywhere from 335 to 430 kilometers. The efficiency is a bit dubious. We'll talk about that once we get into the car. The efficiency I've been getting is much higher than that. AC charging of 6.6 kilowatts and DC of 120 kilowatts for the 49 variant, and then 150 kilowatts for the 62s. And the length is 4.476 meters. Weight is 1635 to 1725 kilograms, and it is, of course, 5-star and CAT rating. And just for a quick comparison against the Geely, we'll talk about that towards the end of the video on our summary. But the complete is 44,197 versus 48,331 for the Inspire top spec Geely. So you really have to compare the top spec with the 62. The Geely is front-wheel drive, and it's got a slightly higher output, hence faster acceleration, 60 kilowatt hour battery for both variants, and so 430 kilometers of range for that, slightly better efficiency and better AC charging as well, and it is a slightly bigger vehicle at 4.6 meters in length.
But just because we're currently at that stage of life, both brands would basically be good options if you need a car that can be driven by a P-plater in New South Wales.
Yes,
is that right?
Correct, because they're both over 6 seconds from 0 to 100.
And yeah, a car that starts with a 4, you know, in terms of pricing.
Yeah,
it's excellent.
Correct. Yeah. Well, let's take a little walk around the outside of the car. So we might walk around the front this way. So this car is based on the modular scalable platform from MG, which the MG4 and also the Cyberster runs on as well. So yeah, same platform for those cars as this one. I think the MG4 actually looks slightly better than this, just subjectively speaking, but this one probably looks a bit plainer, a bit more generic, so probably appeals to a greater audience than the MG4, and hence a bigger car as well. Nice red, as the Cyberster was.
Honestly, red makes any car look nicer.
Yeah, so true. Front bumper camera this there really quick. There's no frunk either, I just checked earlier. Grille down the bottom for the air intake. And as we walk around this side, of course SUV-ish in shape, as you can see.
Yeah. I think it looks nicer from the front, yeah. When you come around the side, then it's like, yeah, it's more your kind of like standard family sort of looking car on the side, isn't it?
Boxy SUV, yep. 18-inch tyres for the Essence trim. Yep, Bridgestones on this occasion. It is 18s, yes, 18s. Side cameras, so like it's pretty good parking camera actually, we'll show you that later on. Rear privacy glass in the top spec Essence. Rear rails as well. Show the versatility. Plastic, charge port on the left side, which I guess is good for the V2s and 3s superchargers. Just a plug for the DC, which is good.
And street chargers as well.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's true. Left-hand side. Yep. Nice indicator lights there. Plastic around the wheel arch in the bottom, so versatility again. I think this is actually MG's biggest selling point. 10-year warranty. This is actually industry-leading. 10 years. So you know what you're getting when you buy an MG. That reliability, and they've got a big, dealer and service network now too in Australia.
And it's good because I mean, even though it's like like a relatively cheap car compared to all of the others on the market, like $40,000 is still nothing to sneeze at. And if you're sort of looking at this car, it's going to be a huge investment for you and your family. So having that 10 years is excellent.
Yeah, for sure. Rear wiper, it's good. I like rear wipers. It's power tailgate too for the Essence trim, so let's have a look inside. Tough privacy screen. Now someone asked me to remove these so that I can show whether it can fit their dog. That's a fair enough request, so I can undo
What kind of
these.
dog do they have?
Well, I
How
don't
big
know.
is their dog?
I mean, if you've got a big enough dog, then that's what we need to know, right? So, there you go. The privacy screen off, that's what it looks like.
Specifically for this vehicle or just vehicles in general?
All vehicles in general with a privacy screen.
Right.
Just fit. So, there's my Big Bertha, fits comfortably across like that. 3 child restraint anchors there, 60-40 split. And then you've got a subfloor here as well, so it can go a bit deeper, which is really good.
I'm just trying to think about what this space is like compared to the Geely. Was the Geely a little bit bigger in the boot or no?
I mean, 10 amp charger too, this is what this car comes with. I would think the Geely is bigger because it's just a bigger car in general. This is 4.4.
Because I'm just looking at,
Geely's
trying to think
4.6.
about like luggage.
Yeah.
You could fit like a check-in luggage, I think horizontally, but you wouldn't be able to fit it vertically, if that sort of makes sense. Because I think this bit would stop you from having them like this way.
I see what you're saying.
But you could have it here. I'll demonstrate with this. You couldn't have them this way, but you could have them this way.
Yeah, so sitting like flat versus sitting
but
upright.
I don't even know if you could get 2. Just 1, I reckon. I
Yeah.
think that second one, you wouldn't be able to stack the second one on top of it.
Well, see, that brings me to my question. Like, is this still considered a family car, right?
I think so.
I mean, 4.47, it is Atto 3 kind of size, and some people do use that car as a family vehicle. So I think as a small family vehicle, it's probably passable. Whereas
And if you're light travellers,
yeah,
you could fit 3 smaller suitcases sort of vertically.
I think if you want a bigger family car, then that's where the Geely EX5 is probably more suitable. But I think for like a second vehicle, city runabout.
Yep, like I said, the P-plater car, right?
Yeah, P-plater car.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the I can see sort of remnants of the MG4 here, that bit of lip and side design there. There it is, everyone. That's the MGS5. Some more differences between the Essence and the Excite trim on the inside of the vehicle, so we'll talk about that when we get in there.
Yeah. Like, admittedly, it's not a very cool looking car from the back or the side,
No.
honestly. But I think the front is nice, honestly. Like, it looks nice from the front.
Look, I think SUV is just a pretty daggy in general, right? I mean, it's a
but it actually looks
versatile
like,
vehicle.
okay, I think it actually looks so good from this particular angle.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say this. I actually like this over the Geely. I'm not a huge fan of the way the Geely looks. This is a better looking vehicle than the Geely EX5.
Interesting, yeah.
That's how I feel.
But that's the thing. Once it kind of gets into that sort of family SUV space, I like it looking like a bubble. But this one, I feel like it started off angular and then it kind of, I don't know.
Yeah,
Just kind of,
I see what you're saying. It's angular down here.
Yeah, yeah.
But angular at the back as well, see? It's
but not
a little bit pointy there as well. But then it's just like, yeah.
Yeah,
It is what it is. It's an SUV.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The red helps.
It does help. Let's check out the second row. Just door close sound first, of course. Yeah, nothing too special, but not terrible.
Come around.
So, some more interior features of the Essence trim. The powered sunroof is included with
Ow,
that.
I just hit my head. Yep.
Oh, that's not a good sign. Powered sunroof.
It's nice though.
Yeah.
I love the powered sunroof.
And which you can shut, of course. That's great. You can also open the sunroof. You can vent it and open like that.
Yep.
That's handy.
I feel like you're going to get your head caught in there.
Yeah.
Which admittedly the Geely had as well, but was it as big as this?
The sun, well, see, only the top spec of both vehicles have a sunroof.
Ah, okay, okay. Yep.
Yep. Also, heated front seats for the Essence trim, power adjustable driver's seat, which we'll show you in a second. Synthetic leather trim throughout, and then fabric included with that. So,
which is nice. It breaks it up a little bit,
breaks it up.
so it doesn't look, it doesn't look cheap and cheerful at all.
Agreed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I always like pulling this one.
Armrest, yep.
Sensible.
And you got map pockets here. Now the center console is also
just the one.
Yeah, that's only in the Essence trim as well with the charger there. Manual vents, flat floor.
Very flat.
True flat, yeah, true flat floor. And then the styling on this side. Ooh, a scuff there, oh dear.
Oh,
That's a bit of a concern.
That wasn't us.
No, I don't think so.
No.
It was there before.
Yeah.
Window control there. Then you've got harder plastic there, but then this is that's hard as well. But at least it's broken up with different colours. Yeah. Nice, nice chrome handle. Yeah. No, it's not terrible looking. It's
functional.
Functional. That's
functional.
the word. Yeah. It does the job.
And hooks. Hurrah.
Hooray! And hooks here too.
Ah.
Yeah. So like that's the thing about the MG. Like this. They've really upped their game, I reckon, compared to MG4. It's a very sensible, no-nonsense kind of vehicle, which is what I like about it. And a little bit perforated here too, so you don't get a sweaty back. And down here as well, on the seat.
Yep. Like I said, I just feel like it feels like every single 2025 car has it's just like a generational leap for everybody, which is really, really encouraging actually. Like it's good to know.
The value is getting a lot better for what you're paying. Yeah. Cool.
And I'm just going to pan like this so that you can kind of get an idea of what it would be like if you were sitting up the back.
Yeah.
And it's very pleasant.
This helps a lot in winter. Get your vitamin D.
Yeah.
All right.
It's nice.
Let's hop into the front seat on your side. All right. So on Joy's side, very similar styling. Nice deep storage bins here on the door side. No powered seat controls on her side. Just for the driver in the Essence trim.
Yep.
Same synthetic leather / fabric trim, just to break things up. I do like the styling again on the inside. It's a huge step up from the MG4.
Yep. And it's a comfortable seat. Like it wraps nicely.
Yeah.
Like
good.
some seats you sit in it and you know, it's not that, but no, this is like
Yeah.
It's like it's giving you a little bit of a hug.
Good.
Yep.
All right, let's hop in my side. All right, so I like standard window controls, like none of this pressing the rear for the rear. It's just 4 buttons for each window. When I'm stressed, I want to get the window down. I want to get it down quickly, right? So happy with MG doing that. And the lock unlock here, bit of carbon fiber throughout the front. Again, just to break up the design a little bit. And then you've got mirror controls here too. Again, sensible, like just actual buttons rather than pressing on the screen. Again, when you're stressed, you want to fix it quickly. That's what you want. So applaud MG for that. Okay, so in the Essence trim, you get rain sensing wipers, which are on the right stalk, and rear wiper as well, as we saw, and also auto lights indicators on the left-hand side. You get power adjustable seats for the Essence trim. You also get a panoramic sunroof. We talked about that earlier. Okay, so 6-speaker sound system, which I think is actually quite average, to be honest. I'd probably rate it 4 out of 10. A lot of mids that are muffled, and the bass is muffled as well. Just not very clear.
Yeah, look. Now, if you want to compare this $40,000 sound system to the other Geely $40,000 sound system, I will say that yes, obviously the Geely premium sound system is a lot better than this one.
Hands down, Geely's the winner in that department. No problem.
Not even a competition.
Yeah, that's why I guess you have to trust us a little bit. We drive a lot of cars, so we'll tell you the Geely is better than this one, which it is. The MG is just a bit of a disappointing experience in terms of sound system in most of their cars, unfortunately. Wireless phone charger for the Essence trim there, which my phone is on, and then voice control there too. Okay.
One thing. This is good so that you don't crush.
Oh, show that again, sorry. Off you go.
Okay, so these.
Yes, little tabs.
So that you don't, like, if you've got the wires coming out here,
yes,
and someone slams it down, you're not going to slam the wire.
Good design.
Yes.
Excellent.
That makes me very happy.
Nice big fat armrest, which I love.
Yep. And
sunglasses holder. Yay! I was going to go through it. I haven't sat down yet. But yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was just about to sit down. Right. But no, I'm glad you mentioned that because I might have forgotten. And the more controls up here for lights and things. Nice white finish too, so just to break up the black in the interior. And yeah, mix of softs here, and then this faux leather again. Nice deep drink holders there, and this little extra space for keys. Yay! I like that. I never know where to put my keys, so it's good.
But see, some cars wouldn't need keys anymore.
Yeah, true, but this one does, so I'm glad to put that there. And I like this storage with the deep lip. Perfect. Excellent. And also deep storage down here as well. And the USB-Cs, look at that, USB-C ports everywhere. Which is good for a Chinese vehicle. Sometimes they've got a mix of A and C's. And 12 volt socket there too. Alright, let's hop in. Okay, so I'm going to start with the interior styling. Again, like I said, no nonsense, pretty sensible interior. Huge upgrade from the MG4. I like it. It's a nice colour palette too. Sort of greys and blacks and carbon fibre. It's actually used very well. And I love the manual vents too, which actually look quite stylish, to be honest.
Yeah, they're very minimalist, I love them. Yeah.
Buttons here for ACs, which is good. Like again, when you want it done quickly, you just turn the knob. Volume control here, a home button there as well. Gets you back to that. Wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto with buttons or controls down here integrated with it, which is great. And then a nice big instrument cluster screen. So excellent again, a big upgrade from MG4. All the stats that you want on this side. So there's the efficiency, 21.8, which I must say is actually quite high. I'm surprised because most SUVs review are around 15 to 20 kilowatt hours. Admittedly, it is a bit colder in Sydney at the moment, but still, that's quite high. So with a 60 kilowatt hour battery, you know, you're not going to get any more than 300, even if it's used in its entirety.
And just to compare it with the Geely, what was the Geely getting?
I think it was around 16s and 70s. So efficiency must be taken into account because it will cost you more to charge the vehicle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so what else can we see in the cluster screen? So from start, from last charge, tyre monitoring, multimedia, navigation, which doesn't have native trip planning, unfortunately. At least there's native nav. That's one thing.
And there's no head-up display.
No head-up display, correct.
And this is the top spec, right?
This is the top
so
spec.
there's the top spec, no head-up display, whereas the Geely did have a head-up display in the top spec.
Okay, and so usual buttons here. We'll go through the cruise control during our drive, and then some favourites buttons as well. Volume control here as well. Standard pedals down here. Yeah, that is pretty much it, everyone. Visor here, just a lit visor as well. Comes out, doesn't pull out any more than that. The Essence trim includes heated seats for us, drivers and passenger side, and heated steering wheel as well, which is very welcome this morning. It was quite cold. Yes. 6 degrees this morning, I think it was. Oh. So back here, I might just go through some of the settings here. So it's got one pedal driving.
Hurrah!
Which I must admit,
I was going to say, and how would you rate that one pedal driving?
I find it too harsh. It's too harsh.
Interesting. Yeah. You'll see what I think about it later.
Hard for me to feather. I have it on like adaptive, so it works reasonably well. Sometimes I sort of can't decide, so it does go between like low and medium.
Okay, so I guess when I drive, I'll just have it on and have it on strong.
Yeah, okay. Strong. Have it on normal usually, but you can try sport mode for yourself. I find the steering quite good actually. I'll talk about the drive when we go for a real test drive shortly. It feels like a very solid, firm vehicle. I'm very comfortable and stable in it, as opposed to the Geely, which I found a bit floaty. So just preliminarily speaking, before we go for a drive. Sorry, just go back to drive controls here. I couldn't quite work out what light press and heavy press is. Maybe it's the accelerator pedal. I couldn't work out any discernible difference between them. If you own an MG, let me know what that is. And comfort braking, I guess it's good for low speed. Okay, so all your settings there for convenience. You can set the height of the tailgate too. You can open it from here as well. Regen braking, so that's the custom buttons you can set here for MG vehicles. MG Pilot, which is the cruise control and all the ADAS stuff. Oh no, I said something, didn't I? No. Okay, good. It must be a safe word. Yeah, keep it on low normally, all these things. It does revert back to like default on if you turn off stuff like overspeed warning, even by 1 kph. It comes on. It must be an ANCAP thing. That's why all the cars do it now, to get 5 stars. So yeah, that's pretty standard these days for most cars. You can customize your cluster screen and then your status screen as well. So 360 camera, let's pop that on. So I think it's quite nice clear cameras.
Yep.
See that?
Very, very clear.
Yeah, and parking guide, just 2 lines. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want.
I mean, to give you an idea, the cameras and the view on this is better than what was in the car that cost double that we were just in, the Cupra Tavascan, which is like, double the price, and the cameras aren't as good as this.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, good cameras. Okay, well that's pretty much a walkthrough of the interior. So yeah, what we might do is just go for a drive now. Might do a not long range, like a short-ish range test out to Costco, where we like to go for these tests, because it's like a 100k return trip, and we'll see you on the road very shortly. All right, let's do this. So adjust the mirrors, left-hand indicate, drive button down here, and it never turns off, this car, as long as you sit in the car, it's on. So only when you leave the vehicle it turns off.
So there's no like start-stop button that you need to press, which is good.
Ground up EVs. Love it. Flat floor, no off button. That's all we want. Indicator noise is nice. Doesn't feel like a nice car. Only 0 to 108 point something, so pretty slow.
But still, is there instant torque? Because I feel like as soon as you press the accelerator, something happened.
Nah, it's a little bit mushy.
Okay.
It's like, so slight lag. A lot of the Chinese EVs are like that, like not instantaneous like the VWs that we tested last week.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't sort of compare to that. But something happens. It's not like you press the accelerator and then nothing happens for half a second and then the car moves forward.
No, something does happen. It's just
something does happen.
mushy.
It's just slow.
Yeah, slow. Rear-wheel drive, so there's no torque steering. It's been dry last couple of days, so I can't comment on the range just yet. Okay, let's go.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad. I felt slower.
Yeah.
Okay, we could probably test acceleration at the red light.
I mean, it's red, so as in this is a red car, so it will go faster just by way of the fact that it's a red car.
Red cars do go faster, don't they? All right, let's see how we go. There's a Polestar next to us.
Which is how much more expensive?
A bit more expensive.
So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, look, it wasn't that zippy, but quick enough, I think. Quick enough. Okay, I'll scoot in the middle lane. Like I said before, I actually enjoy the drive quality of this car. It feels like the MG4 for me felt quite light, but this one feels really solid for a car this size.
You look satisfied driving it.
Yeah.
For something that is the shape that it is, because I know you don't like the shape of these sorts of like when it's bordering onto an SUV looking car.
Yeah.
You're not driving it as though it's an SUV, if that sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you feel very satisfied. Like, it feels like it's a smaller, more agile car.
Yeah, no, ever since MG4 and Cyberster and this, the drive quality of these cars have improved a lot. And this is meant to replace the ZS EV, which that's an ICE platform, right? So the drive quality wasn't great. But this, actually, the steering wheel feels good. It's not super light. I think it's actually quite balanced in terms of firmness and heaviness. And like I said, there's very little sway in a car this size. It feels very stable.
I mean, in some cars on the Roseville Bridge, we'll be sort of billowing about, but there's none of that.
Yeah.
Yep. And you're going at, obviously, you're almost going at 80. So,
yeah, very easy to control. So not floaty at all. So that's what this has got over the Geely. I know some people like that floaty feel, but this for me feels more stable and more comfortable as a driver. And
again, that's why, we always say it's so important for you to go out and test drive these yourself, because different people like different things in cars.
And that's just my opinion, because this is what I like. You may not like the firmness of this car. But yeah, I think it's a good driver's vehicle. And we'll test the insulation on the highway. But I think for the price point, it's pretty good still.
Exactly.
Yeah, for the drive quality. All right, we'll get you back on the highway a bit later on, so stay tuned, everyone. Okay, so we are on Delhi Road, so a little bit of a slight handling test, I guess, on the way to the M2. It's for a highway test. Just discussing the ADAS warnings Yes, they do come up every time it goes over the speed limit with the overspeed warning, which you can't reset to off because it just comes back to a default one. It's not too annoying, like a bit of a boop, but it's not terrible. I've definitely heard worse. I'm going to follow this slower car in front of me, unfortunately. But again, very comfortable.
And it could get up this slope easily. Like, it's not struggling to get up the slope.
Unlike the Swift in front of us. But, yeah. Like, you know, in the front wheel drive Geely, it's got that torque control, so it doesn't torque steer too much, but you can feel something like trying to correct it, right? So you do slow down a bit as you turn the corners, whereas this is more of a true drive when you go around corners. Like, there's no software holding you back. Like, it's a true cornering experience, if that makes sense. I know it's a subtle thing, but I'm starting to appreciate the difference between the two. It's just such a stable ride. It's so nice. I think MG have nailed the driving experience, even for an SUV like this. It's improved so much to the point where I'm looking forward to the next MG4 or the next like sportier version of their drive. I know you've got the Cyberster, which is not too bad, but something more affordable than the Cyberster. Like, that could be quite a winner from MG. So looking forward to seeing what they develop on this platform. Okay, so I'll see if I can show you some of this overspeed warning bizzo. Give that car ahead some space. Okay, so it's 60 kph on this road. So I just zip up a little bit.
Cars in front won't let you.
Yeah, too slow. But maybe on the highway. I guess if you linger around too much over the speed limit, then it'll start to boop. And boop it does. I think it boops 3 times and then it stops. So
See, that's not too intrusive,
bad.
Honestly.
Yeah. Oh, I just saw someone cross the freeway. Like, dude.
Like, yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, do you hear the boop? That was the boop.
So I was too busy trying to film the crazy person who was like crossing.
Yeah. Do not do that, everyone. Do not cross a motorway.
Oh my word.
On foot.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are. So this bit of the M2 is terrible, as you can see. A lot of corrugations. Yes, the noise is coming through, unfortunately. Alright, let me show you some of this.
But it does in every car that we do this stretch of road.
Yeah.
Which is why it's a good test.
That's right, and then it gets better, as you'll see. Alright, let's try and get this overspeed warning. Everyone obeying the speed limit, that's good, I guess. Okay, here we go. I'm 104 over 100 now. 1, 2, 3. Then it leaves you alone.
See, that for me, that's actually fine.
Yeah. And the sound wasn't too bad.
No,
Yeah.
it's a very muted, low,
Yeah.
very polite.
So there you go. ADAS can be done reasonably well. All right, so cruise control. This button here. Push that once, and then push this once. Okay, then it will just follow the speed you're going at the moment, and then you can zip up by 1 kph or down 1 kph, and then if you hold onto it, it's down by 5. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So that's booping because it picked up some 50 somewhere, I don't know where. And then push this again. Sorry. So I want to get the auto steer. Let me just move in this lane so I'm not annoying anyone. So let's push that on again. Push that to zip up to the speed you're going at. Okay, and now I want to put the auto steer component on. Okay, so you got the blue steering wheel. I'm not sure whether you can see that. Blue steering wheel there. Okay, so that means it's on auto steer. So let's see how we go with that. Now, BYD is like the benchmark for crap. Like, this terrible, auto steer on the highway. So, speaking of BYD, there's a dolphin in front of us. And I can say that because I own a BYD. So the auto steer ICC is not very good. So as long as it's better than BYD in its current form, then I'm happy. Please hold the steering wheel. Okay. So I'm just gently touching my wheel. So in the BYD, it will like move you from side to side in the lane unnecessarily, even on a gentle curve like this. So far, on this very small test, I did that curve pretty well. Now the road should change now to better quality. Rough again. I feel like there's a bit of road noise coming through.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think whether it's like more so than usual.
Okay. It's keeping pretty reasonable distance to the car ahead. I am on like the closest follow, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I am. Good. Don't like to be too far away because then, especially in Sydney, someone will cut in front of you.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what the interior lights do. Are there? No, there's no interior lights.
There are no interior lights. I'll just pan around just so you can see.
Yeah. It didn't switch to dark mode either on the main screen. So interesting.
Is that to do with your
My
Apple
device
settings?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just not dark enough either. So I'm on adaptive regen braking. Like I said earlier, I find the one pedal a bit too strong. It does a reasonable job of like deciding what to do, like whether to go low or medium or high, depending on the speed you're traveling. It does get it wrong sometimes. Not so much of an issue here on the highway, but on the urban roads, it's a problem. See, it's picked up a 30 kph somewhere. Don't know where.
Yep. So it thinks you're going 70 kilometers over the speed limit.
Yeah, no car company has solved that yet, by the way. I'm not even sure that's solvable.
I was going to say, I don't think you can.
Yeah. Apparently AI is taking over though.
Yeah, but look, as long as it's just like a sort of a gentle warning like this one, it's actually not that annoying if it picks up something incorrect.
Yeah. Oh, it's a nice bit of road. Okay, well, we'll keep driving. And then we will touch base when we get closer to our destination. Do a parking test as well to show you the cameras. So stay tuned, everyone. All right, let's test the parking out. I've got too many spot syndrome now. Typical. All right. Oh, hopefully you can see that. Once we get in the shade, we get a better view. Ah, love the parking spots here. Look how wide they are. There's like a gap between them. This is not Costco, by the way. We're just another shopping centre. But see that? Beautiful. The lines are responsive.
They make sense. And there's not sort of three lines overlapping each other and you're sort of not sure which one you should be looking at.
All I want, 2 lines. Where are my wheels going? Predictive. Easy.
Yep.
Done.
And the boop isn't sort of harassment, sort of panicky boops.
Harassment.
Yep. Excellent.
Okay, Joy's turn to drive. Of course, she's got it on sport mode and one pedal driving. Let's go. Right, so it's Joy's turn to drive. We are heading back into town. Just on these smaller roads before we make our way onto the highway. As you saw, we had her on sport mode now and one pedal drive. School pickup time, 2 o'clock. There's quite a bit of traffic.
I do miss one pedal driving because I think the last few cars that we've been reviewing haven't had it, so it's nice to finally get back in a car with one pedal driving again.
And you appreciate the difference between them all? Like say, obviously you drive your Tesla Model Y all the time?
Yeah, it's a little bit stronger than the model, well, as in the original generation Model Y. I can't remember there being much of a difference with the new Model Y, so I would say then, I guess, yes, it's a little bit stronger than just the Model Y in general.
But sometimes I feel like you don't want it too strong, right?
Oh, I don't mind, but see, okay, for me, I feel like I would rather it be this way, and then I can adjust my leg accordingly. See what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to like, I mean, given that I prefer like a stiffer steering as well, like I prefer me to do less and the car to do more rather than the other way around. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to have to press more for the same thing to happen.
Yeah. Right?
And the same way, I don't want to have to like turn my arms all akimbo just to like move the steering wheel. So that's just a personal personal preference for me. So for me, I don't mind it being sort of like harder, as in like, like, how do you say it? So as in like, you know, like that I have to be more careful with my control on the foot. Like I would rather make the adjustment that way than have to press more to get the same effect.
But sometimes they are like that, so the balance has to be correct. Like, I don't mind if it's strong.
It has to be for different people, right? Like for me, I find this easier to get used to. I mean, I don't know as a passenger whether you feel like I've already adjusted to it, and obviously like the first couple of like intersections and stuff, I was like, oh, woof, okay, like that is quite harsh. But then as soon as I got used to just, you know, lifting it slightly less aggressively, that's all I needed to do. So, I don't know.
I wonder whether we need like one pedal driving
modes
levels, right? It's like, I know sometimes it's like too harsh.
But see, was that what that soft press, hard press, or whatever it is?
Maybe.
You know,
maybe.
Whatever that setting was.
Because like sometimes I know, yeah, sure, you can feather your foot, and I do that in the Tesla pretty well. I think that's pretty good. Sometimes when you don't when you push it, nothing happens, or when you push it, too much happens. I guess we can't make a car for ourselves, can we? Like our own personal driving style. Can't be too specific.
Yeah.
Or am I just being too picky? Anywho, back on the highway.
Yes, it momentarily booped at me, I think, because it picked up an incorrect speed sign somewhere. It's 100 here, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Still well below 100.
How's that efficiency going? Let's see. So we've done like 50 k's out here already.
Yeah, that's the thing. It still says 20.
20? That's still pretty high. It's surprising. I thought it'd be sitting around 15, 16s for a car this size and weight.
And especially going on a road like this.
Yeah, it's surprising.
I suppose. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I know it's a colder time of year, but I don't know. It's not that cold.
And it's not like we've got the air conditioning on like 25 or something ridiculous. What is it on?
I think I made it 22. Yeah, 22.
Okay, that's pretty high. You
No,
can put it, but as in, okay, for argument's sake, let's put it to 20 and see whether it makes any difference.
MG, like a lot of the Chinese cars, actually run low. As in, 20 for me, 25 is what I feel comfortable with, whereas I'd use 21 for the same comfort level on the Tesla and other cars. So I found the Chinese cars always a bit higher. I can't, higher or lower, I'm not sure.
Stronger, I guess. Is that the word?
Stronger. Okay, if the weather was like 0 or minus, I would say yes, it would make a significant difference. But we're still talking like 15 degrees here.
Yeah.
18, in fact. It's very mild today. That efficiency is concerning. It's actually quite concerning. And it does add up. I mean, it'll cost you more in the long run if it's that inefficient. Just saying.
This is everybody though, isn't it? It says 24 hours worth of driving.
Accumulated total, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that's a good sample size. Not just my driving style or your driving style. It's a whole bunch of media and journalists and content creators who've driven this car before us. How are you finding the drive? Pretty smooth otherwise?
Yeah. I mean, this is like straight road driving, so it's just quite pleasant.
Yeah.
It's holding the speed like what I would expect it to. I'm just going to get back into this lane and not annoy that gentleman. Woman or gentleman? Gentleman.
Gentlemen.
But do you annoy both the passenger and the driver, or do you mainly just annoy the driver? I also didn't want to harass the poor L driver that we were overtaking, so...
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon we're going to go to Chatswood again to test the Supercharger, and then we'll do a summary of what we think of the MGS5, so stay tuned. So this is really interesting. So after a stint on the highway, 16.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is obviously more efficient than what we were saying before. So that's kind of what we were expecting this car to be. So maybe Joy's driving is a more efficient drive.
Well, sorry, admittedly this is both of us because it says 2 hours 26, 95 kilometres. So it is a combination of both of our driving.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I was still getting 20s before though, on urban driving.
But that was everybody, wasn't it? That was
also
that was
on my
total figure.
Total, and also like my own stat as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So for someone who drives in sport mode, I can somehow make sport mode eco.
I must just do spirited driving on normal.
Spirited normal driving as opposed to economical sport driving.
Placid sport.
Sporty economical driving.
Anyway, somewhere between 16 and 20. I guess that's what you can expect.
Well, 16 is a lot better.
Yes.
Yep.
20, not so much.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your spectrum. 16 to 20. Good news, everyone. We are at a Tesla Supercharger here in Chatswood, and yes, it's definitely working. It's charging at 78 kilowatts at 55% state of charge, so that's fairly acceptable. So yeah, that's good news if you need to go on a road trip in Australia. Supercharger network is at your disposal. Alright everyone, it's time now for the summary of our video, but before I forget, I just wanted to thank MG Australia once again for the loan of the S5. Thank you very much. And also thank you for watching this review as well. Look, just to start with, I think the MGS5 is a great replacement for the ZS EV, which is what I think the intention was for this vehicle. It's built on the new platform. I still think it's a much better vehicle than the MG4. That's a good car in itself, but I think they've improved the interior and the infotainment system and everything else in this car. So much better improvement, and you get a quite good bang for your buck as well. So I think from that point of view, it's definitely a good buy, but the big question is, how does it compare to its competitors like the Atto 3, and I think more importantly the Geely EX5, which has just come on the market as well. So to compare apples with apples, I think you need to look at the Excite 62 for the MG versus the complete Geely, which is the base spec, and then the Essence 62, which is this car, with the Inspire EX5, which is their top spec. Price for price, it's very similar, but I think what stands out in this car is the fact that it drives better. Well, for me personally, it's a rear-wheel drive, more stable, less floaty. It's already got Apple CarPlay as well. So I think they're the two big factors you need to consider if you're choosing this car over that one. But I think overall on paper, the Geely EX5 is still pretty compelling though.
I think it depends what you're looking for in a car. So I think for me, I feel like I don't really want to have to choose like a winner necessarily, because the winner will depend on what you prefer in a car. So if you don't mind like front wheel drive and you love lots of bells and whistles and all the creature comforts like massage seats and, you know, did it have interior lighting as well?
It did, yeah, I think so.
So if you like all that sort of stuff and you want to be comfortable sitting in the car, then, you know, maybe look at the Geely. It's also got a slightly bigger boot. But I think, yeah, as what Tom was saying, there's just something, I don't know, it must be us, there's just something about rear-wheel drive that just, it feels like how a car should drive. So immediately, like, you get behind this and it's so comfortable, it's so sensible to drive, even though, yes, it is a tiny little bit slower off the mark, I think, than the Geely. But it's still responsive. It's just slowly responsive, if that makes sense. So, like, it reacts immediately, it's just slow to do so. So, you know, you won't be sort of getting away at any traffic lights or anything like that. But then again, maybe that's a good thing if, you know, if you've got maybe a younger driver who might be driving it and you don't, you know, want to put them in such a zippy, aggressive car, then this might be a good consideration. But
yeah, I think Geely as well is a bigger car. So at 4.6 meters is probably more suited to a family vehicle, whereas this one at 4.4 it's probably like a second car or a smaller SUV for other things. But yeah, the Geely probably on paper, bigger car, slightly faster as Joy said.
Probably a bit more premium on the interior as well.
I think so.
But not to say that this one is budget by any means. Like,
no, this is quite good actually.
Yeah, it's been fitted out really well for a $40,000 car.
Yeah, that's right. Bit faster, better sound system.
In the Geely.
In the Geely, yes. That's right, in the Geely. Sorry, I'm talking about the Geely. And yeah, Apple CarPlay is the only thing that's not in the Geely that this car has. Apparently it's in a software update coming up, but overall, look, I'm actually happy we've got two options now, like this Geely and the MG and this one, for whatever your needs you know, are. As Joy said.
And some people, like, you know, the MG brand has obviously been around a lot longer, so people maybe have more confidence in the MG. Although, how long has Geely been around for?
In this country, let's say. In Australia, they've been around a long time, MG. And they've got a 10-year warranty. That's a huge bonus, actually.
Yes, that is massive. So, the Geely, I think, was it 7 or 8?
I think Yeah,
We have
yeah,
to-
for the battery,
I'm
definitely.
sure it's down on the screen there, and you're like, why don't you guys know that? Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really good. Good to have both now to compare to, and yeah, not just Geely, not just MG, but lots more other vehicles as well to choose from, as you can see right now on the screen in front of you. So yeah.
Yep. And importantly, both options can charge at a Tesla Supercharger,
Correct.
so you don't have to worry
Yep.
if you are going on a road trip.
There you go. The Geely warranty is 7 years, and 8 years for the battery.
I think that's exactly what I said.
You did.
So-
Well done. Well done. And both are LFP batteries, Geely and MGS5 as well. So yeah. So once again, in summary, I think the S5 is a huge leap forward compared to the MG4 and the ZS EV. It's just night and day. And it's very close to the Geely EX5, depending on what you're after.
Yep.
So-
But for me personally, in terms of like the drive quality and just like how nice it feels when driving, this one wins out over the Geely. But if you like sort of like all the like tech features and all the bells and whistles, then the Geely's got that over this one.
Yep, well said. Absolutely. All right, well, thanks everyone for watching. Any other thoughts before we sign off?
I'm surprised. Like, yeah, because that previous MG iteration, like if you've sat in that before and maybe crossed it off the list, add it back onto your list and go check this one out.
Yep.
Because they're almost like, they're like completely different cars. Like you shouldn't even, you can't believe it's like the same company that produced both of these.
Yeah, well done, MG.
So please go out and have a look at it. If you think you've seen the MG before and thought like, oh, it's not for me, please go out and see it again.
Yeah, huge leap forward. Fantastic. All right, thanks MG Australia once again. Thank you for watching, and until the next Ludicrous Feed video from Joy and myself, it's happy charging.